Jillian, and I'm the general educator.
I'm Abby, and I'm the special educator.
I'm Cornelia, and I'm the parapro.
So it's important to work in a professional learning community because it fosters collaborative learning amongst colleagues in a classroom environment.
This lesson fits into the board-adapted curriculum because it fits into the first semester of the year, meaning students need to know these skills before moving on to the next unit where they will build on their knowledge.
With looking at 504 plans and IEPs beforehand, we will have the modifications that are necessary for the students that need it. In our first grade classroom, we have 20 students, 4 of which have learning disabilities, 2 that have ADHD, which is a difficulty of staying focused, 1 with dyscalculia, which affects students' ability to understand numbers, and 1 with dysgraphia, which affects the students' handwriting and fine motor skills.
Alright, so our lesson objective is that students will be able to add and subtract within 20 while using manipulatives in small groups. So we have stations set up, and we have our station groups up here on the board, and we have the I can statement for students so they can keep that in mind while transitioning through stations, and we have transition time in our lesson plan because transitions are a time where students can easily get distracted. For our evidence-based practice, we have a curriculum that's designed through problem-based instruction, small groups, and visual learning, which we use at each of our stations. Okay, so this is our first station, and I will be leading this station with the students. So I will write a addition or subtraction problem on the board, and then the students have individual whiteboards, and they will try to solve the problem themselves. And then I will have each student come up to the bigger board and describe and explain how they solve the problem. So this station would be a level 2 on the depth of knowledge chart because the students are explaining how to do the problems, not only solving the problems. And while they're explaining, I will have a checklist with each of the students' names, and I will go through and evaluate their depth of knowledge and check it off so that when we do stations tomorrow, we can reorganize the groups depending on how the students are doing in their depth of knowledge.
At this station, I will be playing an addition and subtraction flashcard game with the students. It's only a level 1 depth of knowledge because the students are only solving the problems and not having to do anything else.
At this station, the students are going to be working individually as well as this station, whereas on this one they're doing subtraction with the individual blocks where they can use them as a tool to see their subtraction problems. And at this station, they are using the stacking blocks to add their problems together and then count how many blocks they have total. And I'll be walking back and forth between the 2 stations, making sure that they are on the right track and helping them when needed. For both the addition and the subtraction worksheets that the students will be working on individually at their stations, we have a regular version and a modified version for the students that need the accommodated worksheets.
And for including the parapro, Cornelia will be at this station, so I will go over the addition and subtraction of flashcard game beforehand with Cornelia so she's comfortable and feels confident in playing the game and leading this at the station with students.
For our universal design for learning, we thought of engagement, the manipulatives of the station, and the slideshow on the smartboard. For representation, we did the manipulatives again, addition and subtraction flashcards, and the addition and subtraction problems with Jillian. And then for action and expression, we just did the flashcards with me at my station.
So when we thought about social emotional learning, we thought about how the students should rotate stations and how they should behave. So we thought of our 5 behavioral expectations. So we have 1, take turns using materials, 2, clean up the materials and put them back correctly, 3, use quiet voices, 4, focus on your tasks, and 5, ask your group for help before asking the teacher. So this is a behavior management strategy because we can just ask our students, oh, what are the 5 expected behaviors, and they can go over them on their fingers with us, just like how I demonstrated. And then if we have a student with an IEP that involves a BIP, let's just say that says they need a break if they're overstimulated or overwhelmed, our special educator, Abby, can take them out of the room to get them out of the overstimulated environment.
Our plans for our formative assessment is the addition and subtraction worksheets, which we have already made modifications to for the students that need it. And for our depth of knowledge, Cornelia's station is addressing level 1, which is routine thinking, and Jillian's station is meeting level 2, which is conceptual thinking, where they have to explain everything. Our team plans are, after we completed the stations, we will meet as a team, the general educator, the special educator, and the parapro, to discuss how the stations went during our prep time. We would discuss if there was any issues, anything we thought went really well, or if we noticed any students struggling or excelling in any of the areas. The data collection would be based off of the worksheets that the students completed at the other 2 stations, as well as using the checklist to see if we need to adjust any of the groups for further group work.